There's a chain of tiny islands in the middle of the Pacific Ocean called Kiribati, and in 2024, it was the least visited country in the world. So you're not going to believe me when I say this, but it's one of the most popular places to play Pokémon GO. But this is one of the most isolated and inaccessible places on the planet, so how does it host so many Pokémon trainers? Well, none of them ever actually set foot in the country. Let me explain. Events in Pokémon GO are based on local time, and a weird quirk in the international dateline makes this the world's earliest time zone, so every Pokémon GO event starts here before anywhere else on the planet. This is Christmas Island, but not the Australian territory. A different Christmas Island, one of the 33 islands that make up Kiribati, and it's literally the edge of where the world begins, both in Pokémon GO and in real life. So for spoofers, players who fake their GPS location to fly around the world, Christmas Island is the first place you can teleport to for new events, and for years, it was one of the most popular spoofing locations. They even filled the island with Pokestops and gyms by submitting fake points of interest to transform it into their personal Pokémon GO playground. I've known about Kiribati's reputation among spoofers for years, but I've always wondered, does anyone actually play Pokémon GO on the island? Well, there's only one way to find out. So I packed up my bags and I'm heading to Christmas Island for the biggest Pokémon GO event of the year. If there's anyone on the island who plays the game, they'll definitely be out for Pokémon GO Fest. And after flying thousands of miles across the ocean, I finally made it to Hawaii. Turns out Kiribati is not an easy place to get to. This trip almost didn't happen so many times throughout the planning phases, the first being the flight. So my plan was to go to Kiribati for Global Go Fest, but when I searched for flights for that weekend, there are no results. So I don't even know if it's gonna be possible to get there. Okay, after some searching, I found the Kiribati government's official tourism website, and there's a page called Getting Here. Turns out there are only 2 flights to the island per week, one from Fiji and one from Hawaii. So if I'm gonna go, it has to be for an entire week. I put those dates into Google Flights and I finally got a result, but the cost of that 3-hour flight is $1,577, and that is literally the only option. So I booked a flight. I have to be there for an entire week because that's the only option. The next thing I needed was a place to stay. I just checked all the typical sites. There are no Airbnbs on Christmas Island. Hotels.com has no results. Even the government website doesn't help. There's a page called Online Bookings that's literally just blank. There's a page specifically for Christmas Island that's empty. I just booked a $1,600 non-refundable flight, and there might not even be anywhere to stay on this island. I've never had this difficult of a time just getting to a place. I basically went through the 5 stages of grief before checking Google Maps as a last resort. Okay, good news. On Google Maps, it looks like there are actually some hotels on the island, but so far none of them have a website or any information online. Okay, Ikari House actually has a website, but this place, it looks like it's basically just for fishing tours. Like it's almost $4,000 to get a room. It comes with a guide and a boat, and like I definitely don't need all that. What if I don't want to go fishing? Can I even stay here? So the only realistic option I could find was the Lagoon View Resort, and to make a booking, I had to send an email.
Nice.
All right, I just had to pick up some stuff that I forgot and I maybe wouldn't be able to find in Kiribati. You know, essentials like body lotion and food. Let me explain. I sent this hotel an email, right? And I said, hey, do you have availability for these dates? Sure. All you need to do is send us a $500 wire transfer as a deposit. They didn't ask for any other information, none of the stuff you'd normally have to fill out when you're booking a hotel. Just wire $500 to this bank account in Hawaii. So I did it. I could be getting scammed right now, I don't know, but maybe this is just how things are done on the island. I know there's not a lot of infrastructure for tourism, so this is, I guess this is what it is. $500 US plus a $25 fee. Send. Let's hope when I land on the island, I actually have a place to stay. But They followed up with another email that made me feel a little bit more confident. They asked if I could meet with their daughter here in Honolulu to pick up a cooler of food to bring to the hotel, because there's not a lot of variety of food available on the island. So that makes me feel a little bit more confident that I made a real hotel reservation, but now I have to go meet a complete stranger and pick up a package from them to check in on my flight. Is that even legal? So I gotta get this stuff in my suitcase, and then we're gonna go meet this stranger with a cooler full of food. Thank you.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
At the airport, I met up with Bite, whose family owns the hotel, and I explained my plans. I'm going to play Pokémon GO.
What is that?
You don't know Pokémon GO?
No.
Okay, this is not what I was expecting. My carry-on is too heavy, so I have to check it in. But also, my backpack is it's full of my camera gear, and the camera's not even in it, and it's too heavy. So I have to put stuff from here in here. I was expecting there to be problems with the food box, but not my stuff. Turns out the food box was overweight as well, so I had to squeeze some of that in my bag too. Okay. We did it. We got it all figured out. I do have a question for you. Have you ever heard of anyone going to Christmas Island for Pokemon before?
No, this is like my first time.
Like, what do people usually go there for?
They go there for like fishing. Yeah, mostly that's it.
So do you think I'm gonna see a lot of other tourists there?
I don't know. Well, I think you'll see, the 3 people.
Those 3 fishermen? Yeah, that's it. Me and 3
thing.
fishermen on the whole island. We'll see. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I made it through security. I'm sitting here at the airport, and I'm actually feeling kind of nervous about this trip. I don't usually get nervous when I travel, but I've never traveled anywhere quite like this before. So I don't normally do this. I like to kind of just be surprised when I travel somewhere, but I went on the Wikipedia page to just do some reading. And Christmas Island, that's the island I'm going to. The total population of the island, 7,369. For tourism, just like Bite said, it's mostly fishermen fishing for bonefish. But the part that's making me really nervous is right here, communications. It says, as of October 2023, all calls and data rely on satellite connection only, with very slow internet connection. I might land on this island and actually just not even be able to play Pokemon Go. You'd think it would have made sense for me to research this before going, but here we are. Look, since this might just be the last chance that I have to play Pokemon Go for the next week, I found a nice spot here at the airport where I can put 3 lures down, and since I'm here in Hawaii, I'm gonna see if I can at least maybe catch a Comfey, the regional Pokemon that only spawns here. The only one that I have I got in a trade, so it would be nice to catch 1 or 2 or hopefully more while I'm here. So let's just take a deep breath, relax a little bit before the flight, enjoy the garden here, and see if I can bring home at least 1 souvenir Pokemon for the trip. Comfey? It's not a Comfey. How much longer on those lures? I don't know. Honestly, I'm kind of nervous. I'm just gonna go to the gate. I feel like sitting at the gate will just help me feel more prepared. I pulled up to the gate to find the flight was delayed, and there were way more people than I was expecting. As I boarded the plane, I did one last check for Comfey, still unsure if I'd even be able to open the game once I landed in Kiribati. The plane was only about a third full, but while we were airborne, I learned that most of the passengers were continuing on to Fiji, and only a few of us would actually be staying on Christmas Island. It's astounding how truly isolated I'm gonna be for this next week. As we flew south, we crossed the international date line. Just like that, we jumped a full 24 hours into the future, and I finally caught my first glimpse of Kiribati as we began our descent. Christmas Island is an atoll, a ring-shaped coral reef that surrounds a lagoon, and the beautiful turquoise water looked so inviting as we came into land. It wasn't until just before we touched down that I even started to see evidence of people inhabiting the island. There were about a dozen of us that hopped off the plane, and I'm pretty confident I was the only one who didn't pack a fishing rod.
I'm off to a great start. I left my paperwork on the plane already.
I turned around to wave goodbye to the only plane leaving this island for the next 7 days, and I headed into immigration. Thankfully, there were no issues with the box of food, but I had a hard time explaining all my camera gear. It's not the first time. I typically get more questions about it in smaller countries like this that don't get a lot of tourism. Ultimately, though, they stamped my passport and let me in. I watched the fishermen load up into trucks while I hopped into a van with my hotel hosts.
Chris, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I met your sister this morning.
Oh, really?
And
They're ugly.
Oh no. Yeah, I make YouTube videos about, do you know Pokemon? Pokemon GO?
Right, yeah. Pokemon GO, yeah.
You know it?
Yeah, Pikachu and all that.
Yeah.
Right.
I came to see if anyone plays here.
Huh. I used to play, but
You used to?
I didn't play Pokemon GO, like, you know, the app.
Not
I
Pokemon
used
GO.
to play that, but yeah, you have to walk around and look for the Pokemons, right?
Yeah, that one.
Right.
So even though Chris hadn't played Pokemon Go, at the very least, I wasn't the only person on the island who knew the game existed. As we kept talking, it came up that I would need a good internet connection to play the game, and they reassured me that there was Starlink available at the hotel.
There's a Wi-Fi at home.
You got
Okay.
Starlink, so.
Okay, Starlink.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But the power comes on and off, but we have backup.
The power goes off, it'll usually
It'll
take
take-
2 minutes, 3 minutes, then we'll turn on the generator.
Perfect.
No worries.
On the drive, we passed a few cell towers, and it turns out that there is coverage on the island now. Over the last couple years, companies have installed a handful of towers providing 3G data. So that meant I might actually be able to play the game, although if you've ever tried to play Pokemon Go on 3G, you know how difficult it can be. The other thing I noticed on the drive was an abundance of churches. It turns out that the country is an astonishing 96% Christian, with every fathomable subgenre of the faith having established a church on the island. We arrived at the hotel to find the power was out, which Chris and T warned me about during the drive. They dropped me off and headed into town to pick up fuel for the backup generator. No power means no Wi-Fi, which in turn means no Pokemon Go. But I took the opportunity to explore the property and settle in.
And just out the back of the Lagoon View Resort is a view of the lagoon.
The weather was great, the lagoon was beautiful, and I was feeling hopeful for the journey to come. But before the generator was even up and running, it all came crashing down.
So, last night, before the power came back on, before the generator was up and running, the immigration office sent someone here to the hotel to confiscate my camera. They decided that I didn't have the proper permits to have my professional camera. So they took it from me, and I'll get it back next week before I fly out, before I leave. So for the next week, I don't have it. I mean, obviously, look, it's not the end of the world. I still have my phone that I can film with. They got the generators running last night, so there is Wi-Fi. I have internet access, but I still haven't opened Pokemon Go because I can't play the game and film at the same time, and I want to be able to film my reaction. I'm itching to see what the game looks like here, but because I have to film with my phone, I can't play Pokemon Go at the same time. So today's first challenge, I guess, is figuring out how I'm gonna make this work. I guess while we're already feeling disappointed, I might as well give you the other bad news. Kiribati isn't the spoofer's paradise that it once was. A couple years ago, someone pointed out all the fake points of interest that had been submitted on Christmas Island, and there really were a lot of them. Once the fraud had been discovered, it wasn't long before the island was purged of all the fake POIs, leaving just a handful of gyms and Pokestops left. These days, there isn't much evidence of the fraudulent paradise that once existed out here in the Pacific, but after a bit of digging, I was able to find some screenshots and footage of the island at its peak. It's a shame I couldn't get here before the Great Purge, but from what I've learned, there might not have even been cell coverage at the time. It's a bit ironic that Pokemon Go got worse here,
once it actually became playable on the island. Anyway, back at the hotel, it was time for breakfast. The hotel's all-inclusive, and they provide 3 meals a day because there's literally only one restaurant on the island. Okay. I managed to borrow a phone, which means I can open Pokemon Go for the first time here in Kiribati. I'm nervous. I felt a spawn. I felt a vibration. Close the... There's a gym right here. Oh, and an egg hatching. Of course, there's always an egg hatching. Pachirisu. First look at Pokemon Go on the ground in Kiribati. We have one gym right here, a Pokestop way out there at the end of that pier, it looks like, and oh, another gym and another Pokestop up the road. Honestly, more than I was expecting. It's getting really hot too, and I don't have sunscreen on yet. Ugh, so I'm gonna sit right here in the shade. It's more than I was expecting, but I'm glad to see that there's still some stuff left. Now I'm actually gonna go over to Campfire because down here, London, is actually where most of the fake stuff was. This is the area where most of the activity was happening. There's still a handful of gyms down in London, which means there's also Pokestops there, and obviously I'm going to try to get down there later today, but I have to solve another challenge first, which is getting cell data. Right now, I'm using the Starlink Wi-Fi here at the resort, and that's it. Once I walk a little too far that way or that way, I'm offline again. So I do want to get down there and see what's going on later today if possible. But for now, let's go ahead and catch my first Pokemon in Kiribati. How about a fish? It's appropriate. Most people come here to catch fish. I guess I am too. Got it. First catch of the day. First catch of the day, 1 day streak. It's a fish from Kiribati. Amazing. All right, why not the rest of these? I guess we're stuck. We're lagging. We're stuck. What happened? Cloud cover? I guess this is the thing with the satellite internet. It's not always the most reliable. Hello? Okay, game reloaded. We're good. The last thing I'm curious about is who's in these gyms. In the past, when I've done this, when I've traveled to a place and tried to find Pokemon Go players, finding people in gyms has been a useful indicator of whether or not there's actually people around, but knowing Kiribati's reputation for spoofing, it's hard to say whether anyone in this gym would actually be a real local player or a spoofer. I guess I can't see who's in these gyms for the next 4 minutes at least. Let's do this though. No one knows I'm here yet, aside from my family. So I'm gonna send some invites to this raid from Kiribati. We'll just send some invites out and see if anyone joins and texts me, hey, did you start spoofing? Spieletrend joined. Can I send no more invites? All right, pretty easy duo, and it looks like Daniel Schilling, Spieletrend, might be the only person in the world who knows I'm here in Kiribati. Could be the first ever legitimate, on-the-ground invitation to a raid. Hopefully I'm not the first to send a legit invitation from the island. Okay, let me try to catch this. And we'll see if we can find anyone else who's playing here on the island, who's maybe sent an invitation from the ground. Oh, first ball. Oh, but now that the raid's done, let's see who's in the gym. There are 3 people in the gym, but the fact that they've only been in here for 5, 6, 7 hours points more towards spoofing. Somehow I doubt that 3 different people were going around at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning joining these gyms in person. I was just about to eat lunch here at the hotel, but there's 2 people in this raid at the gym, and this is my chance to see if they're... Nope, the lobby already started. Well, look, if they're in the raid, then they're there. It's still my chance to see if anyone's physically here playing the game. I don't see anyone out here on the road. Looks like the lobby? No? Oh god, and now that I'm out here, I'm kind of out of range of the Starlink. There we go. Yeah, 0 on the lobby.
Not really anyone around. A couple cars driving by, but no one's standing out here.
It's possible they just did a quick drive-by and left before I got out to the road, but at this point, I still don't even know if the game is playable without Wi-Fi. The next challenge to overcome is being able to play the game off of a hotel property, away from the Wi-Fi, and for that, I need to get a local SIM card. And I kind of figure also that maybe just like going to the mobile phone shop that sells SIM cards might be a good starting point for trying to find someone who actually plays the game here on the island. If you work in a shop that sells SIM cards and phones, maybe, I don't know, maybe you're more likely to play a mobile game. So we'll see. That's my logic right now. Let's find out. I got a ride to the shops and my logic was immediately challenged. Things work much differently here. The currency exchange was just a British expat who owns a shop, and we went to his house to trade my US dollars for Australian, which is what they use here on the island. And for the SIM card, there wasn't any cell phone shop as we know it in the developed world. We checked with a handful of different roadside shops, each one just a small cinder block hut with a window selling snacks and drinks, and each of them told us they were sold out of SIM cards. We went to one last shop down in London, a Vodafone building that was also a cinder block hut, except the window was inside. Luckily, they had SIM cards available and I finally had a 3G connection. All right, we did it. I'm online. I have 3G. I just had Chris drop me off here, so for the next hour or so, I am in London. This is like the city where all of the fake Pokestops were, where all of the spoofing activity really happens, and this is what it looks like. So for the next hour, I'm gonna be exploring, and hopefully, with 3G connection, hopefully, exploring in-game. I'm gonna open it up and let's see if this data is even fast enough to play. Let's honestly see if I don't even have data, because I haven't paid for it. I didn't pay for anything. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how this works. I didn't actually pay for anything. I got the SIM card, now how do I pay for data? Chris, oh no, Chris left me already. It's funny how the simplest things can work so differently. Chris just left me, he's like, you good, right? And I was like, yeah, totally. I got a SIM card. Now I had to go back in and buy a data top up, $11. And then I scratch this to get the code, and then I call this number and then enter the 12-digit PIN followed by the pound key. And then I do this. It's working. It's doing something. Something's happening. Recharge successful. Updated account balance. Let's go. Well, that was easy, actually. I kind of like that. Let's try this again. Can I get in the game now? No internet connection. Is it not active yet? This is so embarrassing. I'm walking back in here for the third time. Like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, God. Third time's the charm, I hope. I loaded up the lowest data website I could think of, CompuServe.com. I don't know why that came to mind. It loaded, which means I have data, and let's see if it's good enough to open Pokemon Go. Kind of, slowly, a little bit. I mean, I'll never have better signal than this. I'm literally right below the cell tower, so failed to sign in. Okay. Well, let me just, maybe I just have to like re-authenticate. It's kind of working. God, it is so hot out here. Yeah? Okay. I feel like someone's grandpa out here. I'm in. Oh my God. I'm in. I am in Pokemon Go on mobile data. I felt a spawn. Get out of here, notifications. We're here. What do we do? I'm too excited. I don't know what to do. I can't tell the difference between public roads and like private property, if I'm being honest. So I'm just gonna kind of walk and we'll spin some Pokestops. Let's start with the gym. Who's in it and how long have they been there? One person who's been there for 1 hour and 21 minutes, level 50. Look, I'm not gonna say you couldn't reach level 50 on the island. There was a time when it was one of the best places to play Pokemon Go. But at the time when it was one of the best places to play Pokemon Go, there wasn't really 3G cell towers. So signs are pointing towards probably spoofing activity from Manson C here. What else? We got a Pokestop right across the street. It is the Christmas Commercial Complex building. That's what that is right there. There it is. And a Wiglet, why not? We're right here, we're close to the beach. Let's see if I can walk over there. Try to, oh my God. I'm trying to hold a water.
A phone. There we go. Wiglet right here. A beach spawn. Metatite. A little bit slow. There it is. We got the beach biome. It is beautiful. Wow. I made it down right here to the beach. This is just unbelievably beautiful. And then we've got a... Hi. My name? I'm Nick. What's your name? Have you ever played Pokemon Go?
What?
Have you ever played Pokemon Go? You have? You know this game? You know this game? No?
Pikachu.
No? You know Pikachu?
Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon.
Pikachu did recently pass Mickey Mouse as the most recognizable character in the world, so it's not a total shock that he knew that. But they didn't speak much English and lost interest pretty quickly. Unlike kids in the developed world, they weren't completely hypnotized by the glowing light of my phone, so I said goodbye and continued wandering.
So on the ground, once you're actually on the ground walking around, there's, I mean, it's very rural. Even for like one of the biggest villages on the island, it is very much a rural place. It reminds me a lot of being out in the province in the Philippines when I was visiting family out there. You know, there is 3G, but there's not a ton of like infrastructure for, well, roads for one thing. The main road is paved, but everything else is kind of dirt, gravel. I'm kind of the only person walking around. Like, no one's really walking around. Everyone's driving or on a motorcycle. But I'm just gonna head, I guess, towards the 3 Pokestops over there. I'll try to just like spin as many Pokestops as I can. Not really many signs of life in the game either. No lures active, no people in the lobby for the raid. Oh, we got some spawns. There's a little bit of spawns here. But I'm literally just using the Pokemon Go map to navigate. Okay, let's keep looking around, see if anyone looks like maybe they might be playing Pokemon Go. Here's that triple stop. I guess this is the double stop. If I went across the street, maybe a triple. Someone back here had a Starlink antenna on their house, so, you know, that means good Wi-Fi connection. Could play Pokemon Go. Oh, apparently there's a mosque somewhere in here. I'm not gonna say anything. We don't need less Pokestops on the island. That's what I'm gonna say. All right, and then up here, the Pokestop is Republic Kiribati Plate. Beautiful. Right across the street from me on that side, that's the police station. And then I think I'm gonna head down to the Regigigas raid on the beach and see if I can like start up a lobby. See what happens. The gym is called Horizon Lodge, which is somewhere. I'm gonna start the lobby and just see if like anyone hops in. I think if anyone was in range, I would probably be able to see them playing. Although I guess there's the lodge and a couple houses over there that I wouldn't be able to see. Landor, that scared me. Landor Alpha joined the raid. But I forgot that you can join people's raids via the friend list. So now this is just my friends list is joining the raid because they saw me in it. Well, maybe seeing more people in the lobby will inspire anyone who has the game open to join us. Let's see. Oh, 4. Yep, that's all from my friends list. I guess after this, a lot more people are gonna know where I am. All right, we did it. Just the 4 of us took down the raid, and I'm just gonna go straight to the summary. And we're gonna shiny check this Regigigas out here on Christmas Island, Kiribati. Not shiny. I hope one of my friends that joined got the shiny off that, because that would be a cool shiny to have.
It took less than an hour for me to see all of London on foot, but I didn't come across anyone playing Pokemon Go. In fact, I only saw a few people with cell phones at all, and with GoFest approaching fast, my hope was starting to fade.
I woke up at like 4 o'clock this morning to the sound of pouring rain on my tin roof. And I mean, it's just a light sprinkle right now, but the forecast is that it's supposed to be raining like that on and off throughout the rest of the day. So probably not a great day for wandering around, but I also realized something yesterday as I was the only foreigner walking around town, like phone in hand, staring down at my phone.
I'm in a place where half the kids walking home from school don't even have shoes on, and I'm asking them if they've ever played Pokémon GO. One of the most important lessons you learn from traveling is that your way of life is not the only way of life, and here in Kiribati, more than anywhere else I've been, I've had to let go of a perspective that's been shaped by a lifetime of living in the developed world. This is a place where there's one barely paved road, where the power is only on sometimes, and the only fresh vegetables on the island came over on the plane with me. The UN places Kiribati in the category of least developed countries, and I'm walking around expecting to casually bump into someone who's also playing Pokémon GO in the middle of a weekday. It just feels a bit out of touch. This is a country that's literally in danger of disappearing, as it's projected to be one of the first countries to lose all of its landmass to sea level rise. The government of Kiribati has already purchased 6,000 acres of land in Fiji, where it initially planned to move 70% of its population as their homeland gets swallowed by the sea. More recently, it's explored partnerships with China to help dredge up new land and protect itself from the rising tides. And while that may not affect the day-to-day lives of most people just yet, the scarcity of resources on the islands certainly does. I constantly remind myself that it's a privilege to chase these silly little creatures around the world, and a privilege that probably not many people on Christmas Island will get to enjoy. So GoFest is tomorrow. I mean, it starts in like 24 hours, and I think if I want to have any realistic chance of finding someone today, I'm gonna have to try something else. And I think Campfire is probably a decent place to start, but I'm gonna have to go back and connect to Wi-Fi to make that happen. Just kidding. Power's not on right now, so no Wi-Fi. All right, generator's on, Wi-Fi's back up. So for those who aren't familiar, Campfire is Pokemon GO's social companion app that helps you find other people and communities to play with. The map can show you game features like raids, gyms, and routes, but it can also show you local groups in the area. There's a group here, Pokemon GO Kiribati, 239 members. And I'm gonna say right now, I think the chances that this is a legit, like, on-the-ground group are low, because it's out in the middle of the fishing flats. Like, there's nothing out there but fishing. If you were to make a group for your local community, you would probably make it where you play, in the town that you live in, not out in the middle of the fishing flats. But I'm gonna join the group. Let's just see what's going on in this group. There is a meetups channel. Let's see what it says. Upcoming, no upcoming meetups. Any past meetups? October 28th to 29th. GPS coordinates. That is a spoofer calling card using GPS coordinates to describe your location. The host was the only person who RSVP'd for that. What's going on in the general chat? Maybe nothing? Maybe I lost Wi-Fi again? We're gonna give it a minute. We'll try again in a second. I don't know. I'm starting to wonder if this is a Campfire issue. I can't, other things are working on my phone. I mean, look, I can play Pokemon GO. Like, I can throw a Pokeball, I can encounter a Pokemon. It might lag a little bit on the catch. All right, so maybe I can't play Pokemon GO. Does rain affect Starlink? Okay, I can't even load a Google search properly, but in summary, while Starlink is designed to handle heavy rain can cause some level of signal degradation. It could just be the rain. There's like a little patch of blue over there. Okay, I think I found the perfect set of circumstances to get things loading. I'm in the general chat. It says, oh God, should I move this? I'm gonna move it. The most recent message was 3 a.m. Are you guys the first to have GoFest time zone wise? So it looks like there's kind of a mix of people maybe joining from elsewhere, trying to get invitations to raids ahead of time. This guy says, I wonder if there's any inhabitants from Kiribati here. I'm wondering the same thing. Question, May 17th, is there anyone from Kiribati in this group? No answers. Yeah, it looks like a lot of people just trying to get invites from elsewhere. Clearly I don't have permission to make a meetup in this group, which makes sense, but I'm just gonna send a message in the general chat. Anyone want to meet? All right, here's the message I'm sending. Anyone want to meet for GoFest at the Welcome to Lagoon View gym tomorrow at 10 o'clock? And I'm gonna include a screenshot of the gym and send. We'll see. We'll see if anyone replies or says yes or says, most likely, can I get your friend code? Can you invite me to a gym, to a raid? Let's find out. After all the rain, I was feeling a little restless, so as soon as it cleared up, I hit the streets. Okay, so every afternoon there's been like people playing basketball right here at the church across the street, and I'm just gonna go see if I can join them. Can I come play? Yeah? First of all, I'm sorry about the horrible angle. It would have been better if my camera wasn't locked up in immigration jail. Anyway, for game 1, I was the only player with shoes on, but that didn't give me any advantage. I mean, ooh, look at this move to split the defenders and get the bucket. I got the ball off the turnover and they dared me to shoot like I'm Draymond, but they didn't know I'm actually Steph.
I know.
I hit the game-winning layup off an assist from my teammate and the next team stepped up. For game 2, I adjusted the camera angle to one that was only slightly less awful. You can't see that these guys had shoes on, but at least you can see the basket. Catch the ball at the elbow, across the lane, lower the shoulder, bucket. Driving left, look at the body control to get the tough finish with the right. Oh, do I get an assist for that? Wide open for 3, that's game. After a few games, I had to head back to the hotel for dinner, but before I left, I just had to check.
Do you guys ever play Pokemon GO? Do you know Pokemon GO? The phone game?
Sorry.
Pokemon GO? I tried to show him Pokemon GO. Unfortunately, I didn't have internet connection. It wouldn't load the game, but it seemed like none of them really were familiar with it, unfortunately. But basketball, on the other hand, oh my God. I don't know how they did it. I finished my whole water after just playing 3 games, and I don't think any of them took a sip of anything to drink the whole time we were there. I'm not built for it. My conditioning's not up to the humidity and the heat. But I'm gonna take a shower before dinner because I'm sweating.
I was about to go to sleep and then I realized I never checked back in on my campfire message. And I also realized that I never really gave you the room tour because my camera got confiscated the day that I got here. So while this loads, let me just show you around. Here it is, my humble little room for the week. Excuse my sweaty basketball clothes drying on the clothesline. There's my bathroom. That's me. Oh, I think I probably have to go outside and get closer to the Starlink. I don't think there's any new messages. No one has replied. Nope. No one saw my message. No one replied to my message. I guess that's that. We'll see what happens tomorrow morning.
Today's the big day. It's Pokemon Go Fest Global Day 1, and it's only 7:45 a.m. The event doesn't officially start until 10 o'clock, but look at this. The lobbies have already been filling up for these raids. It just started. They filled a full lobby. So I'm gonna jump in this one. I'm right here at the hotel. Look at this, 7 people in the lobby. I'm gonna jump in with them. Some of them are remote, some of them are allegedly here in person, but let's go to the other side of the boat here. We'll just take a look. 19, full lobby. Is anyone actually here? Is anyone actually playing Pokemon Go? Good morning. Only person out here is the hotel's housekeeper, just doing some cleaning, sweeping up. Not a single other person out here actually playing Pokemon Go in person. So, let me just get back closer to the Wi-Fi so I can actually do this raid. No one out here but the crab. Are you playing Pokemon Go? Don't think so. The island is definitely living up to its reputation already. These lobbies are filling up and there's no one here. Quick shiny check in here. First shiny check of the day. Not shiny. And look at that. 7 people in the lobby down there as well. 8. They're just filling up, but they're not actually here. I have had my breakfast. It is 9:59. Pokemon Go Fest Global is about to start, and I just wanted to see, number 1, I want to see the event start. Number 2, did anyone show up for my meetup that I posted about? Let's see. There's no one here. There's no one here. All right,
Okay, it just turned to 10 o'clock. Let me just get my first 2 Pokemon Go Fest Global shiny checks in. We got a Skrelp. It's not shiny. I mean, a lot of people out today, riding their bikes into town, out of town, wherever they're headed. Cool. I'm just a little too far from the Wi-Fi. Duskull. No, but you can already see what kind of day it's going to be with the cell service and the Wi-Fi.
If anyone on this island is actually playing Pokemon Go, today is the day I'll be able to find them. GoFest is literally the biggest event of the year, and no Pokemon Go player is going to miss it.
It was raining all morning, so there's huge puddles everywhere. Woke me up at 4 a.m. with pouring rain on the aluminum roof.
I've already seen dozens of spoofers active in the raids, but my plan is to head down to London and look for any signs of in-person activity. It's a 2.8 kilometer walk, and I managed to find a showcase Pokestop along the way.
Let's see what the showcase is. Biggest Zacian. 73 trainers. Okay, yeah. I mean, I should have figured. This is not your typical remote island in the Pacific. This is the most popular spoofing island in the Pacific, in the world maybe. So 3 stars, and I'm rank 1. No way. There's no way the spoofers are gonna let me beat them like that. Am I actually rank 1? That's crazy.
Once again, the amount of spoofers on the island make it nearly impossible to know if there are any legitimate local players entered in the showcase.
Just a short walk. We made it to town, and look at this.
Upon arriving in London, the game was buzzing with activity. Every Pokestop was lured, and every raid had players in the lobby.
There's a lot going on. Maybe a soccer game over here? Let's see what's going on over here.
There was a soccer match going on, and I decided to sit down and watch for a while. I scanned the crowd, but I didn't see any signs of Pokemon Go activity. This was probably the biggest gathering I'd find all day, and not a single person was looking down at a phone.
Soccer, football matches going on right over there, and I've got a Pokestop here that I can spin. There we go. Showcase, let's see, can I get lucky twice? Nope, this one's maxed out. This one is completely full. 200 trainers. That's more people than are watching this match right now. All right, guess I'm not entering that.
After a bit more searching, it was time for lunch.
All right, it's lunchtime and I'm hungry. I am pulling up to the only restaurant on the island.
It was midday on a Saturday, and I was the only customer there. The fact that there's only one restaurant on this island and it's empty on a weekend really shows just how few visitors Christmas Island actually gets. I ate my lunch, caught a few Pokemon, and carried on, still hoping I'd bump into another player. I decided to walk down to the park and relax on the beach for a bit. There were some fishermen on the shore and a bunch of people swimming in the lagoon. As I walked past them on my way out, it turned out to be my basketball teammate and some of his friends. They asked to take a picture with me, not because they watch my channel or know who I am, but probably just because they don't meet many foreigners who aren't salty old fishermen.
Made a bunch of new friends. Hi, everyone say hi. So, have you ever played Pokemon Go? Do you know this game?
Yes. What's that game?
No? Pokemon? No one?
We didn't know that game.
That's okay. Well, it was nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, good to see you. See you.
I kept searching for any signs of other players, trying to make myself obvious in case they spotted me first. I even wore a Pokemon Go shirt today, but no one seemed to recognize it.
Hi.
As the day wore on, I made the best of the event, always keeping an eye out for anyone else doing the same. And by the way, if you want to see the full GoFest experience here on Christmas Island, I'll be uploading an entire event video soon after this one. As GoFest was winding down and the afternoon sun was heating up, I started heading back towards the hotel. Just as I was giving up on the idea of finding any players out here, I spotted the first and only other foreigners I'd seen walking around town.
Yourselves and telling me where you're from and what brought you here.
Yeah. So my name is Elder Dahl. I'm from Los Angeles, California.
My name's Elder West. I came out here from Canada.
I'm out here as a missionary. I'm serving 2 years as a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
We talked a bit about the work they were doing on the island, and even though I'm not a religious person myself, I do respect that the various missionaries are providing aid, resources, and even education, with several schools on the island having been built by the churches.
So, our church focuses a lot on humanitarian kind of things, right? There's a big high school on the main island that was built by the church. We have, for example, like our basketball court you already played on, right? I've done a lot of like donations to people here. And then we're here and we love service. Yeah. You know, anytime people need something, we'll be like, hey, don't be shy, let us know. We're happy to help. We've picked up some skills, I guess, in the work over here that I never thought I'd be doing. And it's a lot of fun. It's just great to help people and share that love.
Yeah. I heard you also, have you learned the native language?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Enough that we can communicate, enough that we can talk with people.
Yeah.
Most of the people here don't speak English.
Yeah.
If they do, it's very little. The high schools teach English. It's not a ton of English, and it's just at high school. See a lot of people who graduate and they just forget it all because they don't use it. So you meet plenty of people that are capable enough, but they would much rather talk to you in their native language.
I do have one more question.
Okay.
Have you ever played Pokemon GO?
I was not a Pokemon GO player.
Oh, really? I played back in the day.
All right.
Did you?
A little bit.
Yeah. Have you ever played here, like since you got here? No.
It was a long time ago, probably like 5 years ago or so that I played.
Yeah.
I have played in the past.
Okay. All right. That's closer than I've gotten all week being here.
There you go.
So after 4 days on Christmas Island, I at least managed to find a former Pokemon GO player, and I accepted that was probably the closest I was going to get. Still, I went out exploring for day 2 of Go Fest, this time heading north from the hotel to explore a different part of the island. It was Sunday, the day of rest for the Christian majority here in Kiribati, and it seems like they were taking it seriously. None of the shops were open, and there were significantly less people out and about.
I've just been walking, didn't really have a plan, but now I can't get back into the game. So, I think at this point I probably walked 1.5 kilometers. Yep, nope, I'm not getting in. I'm not making it back in here. So I think I'll just turn around and head back to the hotel because I don't know how much longer the cloud cover is gonna last. But I walked north towards the main village, the bigger village on the island. It's called Tabakia, I think. It's the bigger village, but there are no Pokestops, no gyms up here. If you look on Campfire, there's nothing. And you would think like the bigger village, that might be where you'd have a better chance of finding Pokemon GO players, but nope. Everything's down in London, and even when this place was filled with fake Pokestops and gyms from spoofers, it was all down in London. There's never really been anything up this way on the island, despite this being the biggest village.
Ultimately, I didn't run into anyone else during Go Fest, but I decided to spend my last 2 days really settling into the island life. I read a book on the beach, met the neighbor's dog, watched it chase the neighbor's pig, walked the scenic route to London, checked out the local shops, got invited back to play basketball again, and even went on a side quest repopulating the island with legitimate Pokestops just in case someone here ever decides to start playing Pokemon GO. And on the last day of my trip, as I was packing up and wondering if I'd actually get my camera back, I woke up to find the most foreigners I'd seen since getting off the plane 6 days ago.
Elder Thomas.
Yes.
How's it going?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm great. We just met and I just found out you also used to play Pokemon GO.
I also used to play Pokemon GO.
How long ago was that?
2 years ago? I don't know.
That's not that long ago. Have you tried playing since you got here?
No.
No. Would you consider it?
I would consider it. Are there any gyms here?
There are, actually.
But after nearly a week in the world's least visited country, I came to realize this place doesn't need Pokemon GO. People go outside, they swim, they play sports, they gather with their friends. It's us in the overdeveloped, chronically online world who need imaginary monsters to trick us into getting out of the house. There's a culture of community that already exists here, and they don't need someone like me to descend from my ivory 5G tower to teach them how to have fun.
Nice.
Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see some of the other crazy adventures that I've been on with Pokemon GO, check out these videos right here.